maybe it was just the middle of the day. Because my last class, nothing wanted to load quickly, but everything seems to be loading fine now. Okay, and even with the YouTube, if I turn it off too quick, it doesn't record. All right, that's how it's recording. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Okay, all right, let's start with the gallery walk, which some of you still owe me. Um, it looked like some of y'all looked at the first three because everybody had the same three. So I got the impression that that was the first three that you bumped into. Because I got a lot of red pandas and I forget the other two, but red panda was definitely one. But they were the same three, which led me to believe that y'all really didn't look at everybody's project. And like I said, they were really good. And some of them were very beautiful. They were very colorful, very beautiful presentations. So if you didn't look at everybody's, you shortchanged yourself. All right. That being said, a couple of you still have to turn in your gallery walk. So make sure that you do that. Two of you just said done and didn't really. One person sent me the wrong thing, and somebody said done. You were supposed to actually write down um, one commensal, one parasitism, and one mutualistic project that you looked at, and that you were supposed to submit. So please check to make sure that you've done that. So I've checked everybody else who has submitted theirs. Today's assignment is to look at your FRQ activity. Let me pull that up, share. All right, so we've been watching Mr. Sneeds, and at the end of his videos, he has the FRQs. Now, what you've been doing so far in the AP classrooms are what they call the MCQs, which are the multiple choice questions. And I've recorded those too. So several of you, so right now you should have 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and most of you have all three. Kudos to you all. But some of you are still missing two. There's one person who's missing one. So like I said, today is finish anything that you haven't finished day, which also means that there are a handful of you who owe me nothing. And that being said, your your prize for being wonderful is to do the rest of the class, do what you need to do for somebody else's class, or what I'm not assigning you to go ahead yet. We are going to look at 1.4 next week, but like I said, I may go ahead and assign it in the AEP classroom, but we'll hold off really on doing that. I don't like it when half the class is so far behind. And then, like I said, there are several of you who have not done the AP classroom 1.2 and 3 yet. Everybody's done 1.1, but there's still a good handful of you who have not done 2 and 3. And today's activity is the FRQ, and most of you have not done that yet, which is okay because I said it was a today activity. So we have some folks who are eager and they have done it. And all power to you. I'm going to look at those in a minute to make sure that you did it correctly. But these are the essay questions. So there's two types of questions on the AP exam, the multiple choice questions like you've been looking at, which like I said are the MCQs that you get assigned with each unit. And then when we get down to the end of the unit, the final test is going to have FRQs on it. Okay, now what he does at the end of his video, he gives you an FRQ practice question. So every once in a while, I copy his questions and let you do those. So these are the questions. So you can go back and watch his video again. They are in the playlist, YouTube playlist. And these are the questions that are at the end of each of his videos. So the first one wants you to identify two organisms. So you get 2 points for that. That compete for a shared resource. So that's competition. And then we're still talking about relationships here. And then describe how the resource partitioning which is a practice, um, could be used to reduce competition between the two organisms that you have described. Okay, so then you get 3 points for that. So FRQ number 1 is worth 5 points. FRQ number 2 wants you to identify one characteristic of a biome. So again, the biomes have abiotic and biotic factors. And then explain how that characteristic determines the community of organisms found in the biome. Okay, hold on 1 second because somebody just came to class. All right. So again, remember, if you're looking at your levels of organization, your population is an organism, your organism is one kind, population is a group of that one kind. And then that one kind in a group with some other one kinds makes a community. All right, so when you're looking at a community, they want to know, how does that factor that you picked affect the other all the organisms in a community? So we're still not looking at abiotic factors. We're just looking at this group of organisms and this group of organisms. How does your one characteristic affect how they function in community? Okay, so that's a definition thing that you need to be aware that you use that in your discussion. All right, and those of you who've already turned it in, so go back and make sure that you're including these points. All right, the last one, identify an organism found in an aquatic biome. So remember, our aquatic biomes can be a river, lake, stream, the ocean, and estuary. Okay, so pick one. So you get 1 point for picking one. And then explain how that organism is uniquely adapted to live in that biome. So in other words, they can live in a freshwater, but they can't live in a saltwater. They can live in a river, but not a lake. They can live in an estuary, but not the ocean, that kind of thing. So explain, what is it about that organism that allows it to live where it does live? Okay, so that's how you describe that one. Any question? And you can do it all as one document. So just make sure that you title it FRQ 1, 2, 3, and those are the points for each one. So it's 5 points for the first one, 2 points for the second one, and 3 points. 3 points for the second one, 2 points for the last one. A total of 10 points altogether. All right. So again, those of you who've already submitted, go back and look at your answer to make sure that you've answered it like that, and resubmit if necessary, or if you need me to allow you to resubmit, let me know. Okay. All right. So like I said, most of you need to do that. Some of you need to go in the AP classroom and make sure that you've done the MCQ for 2 and 3. And that's it for today. Those of you who are finished with everything, you can go ahead and look at the module for 1.4, because that'll be next, but we'll do that next week, which is the carbon cycle. Now with these, we're going to group the cycles together. So let me come back out for a sec. Is anybody else coming in? I think everybody's here. No, everybody's, we're missing somebody. All right. Okay. On this list, so why I said we're going to actually do something with all of the cycles. Okay. So we have the carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, phosphorus cycle, water cycle. You're probably most familiar with the water cycle. You've probably been doing that since middle school. But we're going to add some extra things to that. So it's going to get a little deeper than just precipitation, condensation, and evaporation. All right. So that's probably what you're used to. So we're going to do a little something extra with that other than just the AP classroom. So get what you need to do done, which is your aquatic and terrestrial biomes. Make sure those are up to date and your FRQ questions. And that's it for today. That's happy Friday. All right, so I'm gonna come out of this. Somebody asked me a question, so I need to check the grade book. Gianna, I think yours was one of you submitted your project instead of your gallery walk response. So you need to check that and resubmit that. Yeah, lovely as it was, that wasn't what you were supposed to send me. All right, so again, for those of you who haven't finished your gallery walk, you are supposed to look at um, as many projects as you can. So again, if some of you have extra time and you did not look at other people's project, look at a project you didn't look at before. Because like I said, it looked like everybody did the first three things they saw. Everybody's answer was the same. And I was disappointed with that. But tell you right now what everybody was looking at. So those of you who haven't looked yet, um, tell me something different than, yeah, everybody picked tick and deer, red panda, and evergreens. Some and a lot of you picked monarch and milkweed, which lets me to believe that uh, those were the first three things. A couple of you did do the cat and human, but then it was tick and deer and red panda and evergreen. Next one, cat and human, tick and deer, red panda, evergreen. I'm going down looking at everybody's responses. Cats and humans. Like I said, I know that was the first one. Tick and deer, red panda, and evergreen. Next one. Cats and human, chicken, deer, red panda, and everything. So, like I said, if you got some time on your hands, look at somebody else's project. Because I'm like I said, that's the first five people. Um, actually, I got one person who actually looked at tuberculosis. And I should say, don't look at yours. You can't include yours. That's not fair. Because I'm looking at this one that they did that. Okay, two people. This one is a little different. This one is shark and remora, tuberculosis in humans, and red panda and evergreen. Milkweed and monarchs and deer and tick, remora ear. Okay, that one's a little different. Tick and deer, remora ear, red panda, evergreen. I'm just telling you, those are the ones everybody looked at. So those of if you haven't sent me one yet, look at something else. Deer and tick, sharks and remora, and humans and cats. All right, Gianna, you're gonna fix yours. Emily, you need to fix yours because you just said done. And I got a couple of y'all who haven't sent me anything. So don't send me yours. Pick somebody else. Okay? All right, that being said, let me look at the other question you asked me. Um, All right. So again, do something you have outstanding. Do whatever it is that needs to be done. All right, most of you have something that needs to be done. And if you have nothing to do, look at somebody else's project, please. And in practice, FRQs, make sure you're using the vocabulary. When you do the AP test exam, they are looking for the vocabulary, sentence structure. Are you using the vocabulary the correct way? So they look for that. So keep that in mind when you're answering the FRQ questions. Mm. What just happened? All right, for FRQ number two, um, make sure that you name a particular biome as well as describe what its feature is, and name the exact adaptation that the organism has that allows it to survive that biome. Okay? Why is it doing that? Okay. My AP classroom is acting weird. All right, we got about 5 more minutes left to class. Uh, finish up what you can. If you have any questions, please ask. Excuse me. So I'm gonna do one more sweep of the AP classroom to check on results there. I've updated the results for that in the grade book, and so this evening when they sync the Infinite Campus with the Canvas, it will reflect updated grades. So if you haven't submitted anything recently, um, please make sure that it's done within the next half hour. Otherwise, it'll be reflected as a missing grade. All right. If you have any questions for me, time's up. I'm going to be here for a few more minutes. If not, have a great weekend and see you next week. Ladanian, you're here, but you're not here. I see. All right, you got, don't forget to do your AP classroom. Okay. All righty. It's because you skipped one. You did one and then you skipped one. Um, is Abigail still here? She's gone. Abigail, you too. Make sure you do your AP classroom. All right, who else? Let me see. Emily. Emily is gone. Gone. All right. Well, okay. Looks like all the I am up to date. No new grades. All righty. Have a good one.